Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Excuse me, Digger Evans Model Railway. We're looking at this Drewry Shunter that we're going to build in stages and make it look rusty and horrible. So I'll move that card and we can see what I've done. I've got all the main body parts off the sprues, giving them a clean, sanded them up, made them all smooth and taken off all the flash. I've given them an airbrush colour, first of all with this light rust, and that was a really dilute light rust, very thin for a specific reason. And then I've gone over most of it with this darker rust. That's just the base coat, purely and simply an undercoat, and it's going to be a rust undercoat. If we look at some of these, I don't know how well we can see this, I'll try and show you. Yeah, you can see there the rivet detail, the little badge and the grab rails and things. You can see where the light rust has actually made its way around and highlighted these bits, just like it would if we were using a panel liner or a wash. And that's ideal for the light rust, just what I wanted. And we're just giving it a really light coat with the second rust just to cover it over. Now we are going to add rust and things once it's been painted, but we've put some rust in prior to it being painted in places like these where the wheels are going to be carried. It's definitely going to be rusty and horrible there. I'm sorry about the parrot, I've covered him up and everything, he just will not shut up. And you can see there's some quite heavy rust and deep corrosion there. Oh heck, that's better. Where the rust is taking hold now. What I'm going to do is do rust like that on most panels. Then we're going to give it a coat of chipping medium, and that's water based. We mix that up with some thinner, we spray everything once we've built it up. Once that's dry, we then go on, paint the overcoat, the actual finished colour, and then we use water and a brush to bring it off where we want to bring it off. Obviously the heavy rusted areas, we want it to appear like it's bursting through the paint. So we have to be clever how we do that to make it look like it's actually rusting from underneath the paint and bringing itself forward. So I'll just show you back again. Where I decide to add the rust, where it's going to look the best, is places where you look, where the water's going to sit, right along here, right along there, bottom of these doors, along that ledge. Lots of water and it'll creep up this way, it'll capillary itself with the rust, and rust, as you know, it spreads and spreads. So it'll be heaviest along here where rainwater is going to sit, and it'll creep up to the other parts. It'll be heavy in places on here, especially around the exhaust that gets hot and the water condenses and steams as soon as it hits it, and around these edges, or just around the edges and a bit on top where things start to go wrong. So I've done some of the rust and we're going to do a little bit more using the sponge method, the same method as I've always used, I've shown you about. It's dead easy. And so if we're going to look where these panels are going to where these panels are going to meet one another, we can see there where the panels would meet, right along that bottom edge, and that's what we're going to go for, making it look rusty along that bottom edge. Now we are going to add rust after the paint work's being done, and rusty streaks, just to make sure it all looks good. So I'm using a burnt umber again, a little bit onto a sponge. It's quite fresh, and so it's not sticky or tacky or anything yet. And I'm just going to gently go up and down this edge, very slightly up and down along the edge, just along the edge there. And that just a bit excessive there. We can build on it and put more on, This is just for the purposes of showing you where we'll go along the edge. I'll do the exact same on the platform that it meets up with, making sure that there's enough. See, you can see that into focus. Come into focus. Nope. There we go. You see that's quite fresh, still very wet, not quite tacky at all, so we'll leave it there for a few moments. I'll get the next colour, which is burnt sienna, as we've used many a time. These are just the base colours. I've got a lot of other colours and tones of rust which we will be using, and so I'll go back over this exact same sponge that we've just used. Paints are going to mix, doesn't matter a carat, doesn't matter at all. And we're going to run the sponge up and down on these. Now the more sticky and tacky the paint, the rougher the finish that we're going to get. There are things you can do, but we're not going to go into that now. There's things you can add to make it rougher or smoother or less rusty, you know, if you don't want to use the sponge method on its own. But you can see there it looks like it's blistering through. That's what we want for underneath the paint, and when we bring the paint off afterwards, it's going to look like it's got behind the paint, it's rusting and bubbling its way through, which is exactly the type of look we're after. I'm not going to bore you all by going through every panel and what have you. We all get the gist of how it goes together by now. I've done a couple of rusting videos, so in the next video you're going to see it partly assembled. We're going to add some more rust. I'll show you how we do the chipping coat and the overcoat and how we bring it off and things. So thank you all very much for looking in. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for all my recent subscribers and the ones that have been subscribed for quite some time. It really is great to see so many people subscribing. What I will say is, if you are watching and you're not subscribed, and I know there's quite a few people that do, if you like what you see, please do subscribe. It really does help, and it's helping to get my my videos kind of pushed out there a little bit more. So thank you all ever so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll say bye bye for now. Take care, my friends, and see you soon. Bye bye now.